Hello, and welcome to Bedtime Stories. My name is Frank Padour, and I'll be reading to you a Grimm Brothers fairy tale entitled The Straw, the Coal, and the Bean. In a village there lived an old woman who one day gathered some beans from her garden to cook for her dinner. She had a good fire on the hearth, but to make it burn more quickly, she threw on a handful of straw. As she threw the beans into a pot to boil, one of them fell on the floor unobserved by the old woman, and not far from a wisp of straw which was lying near. Suddenly, a glowing coal bounced out of the fire and fell close to them. They both started away and exclaimed, "Dear friend, don't come near me till you are cooler. Whatever brings you out here?" "Oh," replied the coal, "the heat luckily made me so strong that I was able to bounce from the fire. Had I not done so, my death would have been certain, and I should have been burnt to ashes by this time." "Then," said the bean, "I have also escaped with a whole skin, for had the old woman put me in the pot with my comrades, I should, without mercy, have been boiled to broth." "I might have shared the same fate," said the straw, "for all my brothers were pushed into the fire and smoke by the old woman. She packed 60 of us in a bundle and brought us in here to take away our lives, but luckily I contrived to slip through her fingers." "Well, now what shall we do with ourselves?" said the coal. "I think," answered the bean, "as we have been so fortunate as to escape death, we may as well be companions and travel away together to some more friendly country, for here we may expect nothing but misfortunes." This proposal was gladly accepted by the two others, so they started immediately on their journey together. After traveling a little distance, they came to a stream, over which there was no bridge of any sort, not even one of wood, so they were puzzled to know how to get over to the other side. Then the straw took courage and said, "I will lay myself across the stream so that you can step over me as if I were a bridge." So the straw stretched himself from one shore to the other, and the coal, who from nature is rather hot-headed, tripped out quite boldly on the newly built bridge. But when he reached the middle of the stream, he heard the water rushing under him. He was so alarmed that he stood still and dared not move a step farther. Sad were the consequences, for the straw, being slightly scorched in the middle by the heat still in the coal, broke in pieces from its weight and fell into the brook. The coal, with a hiss, slid after him into the water and gave up the ghost. The bean, who had cautiously remained behind on the shore, could not contain herself when she saw what had happened, and laughed so heartily that she burst. Now, would she have been in a worse plight than her comrades, but, as good luck would have it, a tailor who was on his travels came to rest by the brook and noticed the bean. He was a kind-hearted man, so he took a needle and thread out of his pocket, and taking up the bean, sewed her together. She thanked him very much, but unfortunately he had only black thread to sew with, and, in consequence, since that time all beans have a black mark down them. That was a Grimm Brothers fairy tale entitled The Straw, the Coal, and the Bean. Thank you for listening. Good night, and sweet dreams.